Sometimes the real strength of your legs isn't just in the steps you take, but in the softness and flexibility woven into every muscle fiber. I once had a patient named John, 68 years old, who would often be jolted awake in the middle of the night by excruciating leg cramps. He told me, "Doctor, I just want a peaceful night's sleep, but it feels like someone is twisting my legs." When we ran his tests, I discovered he was low in magnesium, a mineral most people overlook, yet it's the conductor that tells your muscles when to relax. Magnesium also guides calcium into the right place. Your bones, instead of letting it build up in blood vessels or soft tissues, which can cause stiffness and pain. Have you ever noticed how after a meal with pumpkin seeds, almonds, or spinach, your legs just feel lighter? That's no coincidence. Sometimes a small tweak in your diet is all it takes to give you peaceful nights and steadier steps. Now picture this. It's morning. You wake up, get out of bed, and take those first few steps, light, steady, without that heavy ache in your calves. That's what it feels like when your legs are truly nourished. And one of the unsung heroes behind that feeling is collagen. Collagen is like a strong guitar string connecting your muscles, tendons, and ligaments, keeping them flexible and resilient. I remember Linda, 72, who used to rely on a cane just to go outside. After adding bone broth and a scoop of collagen peptides to her daily routine, she told me her knees felt as smooth as a freshly oiled hinge. Science backs it up. Collagen not only eases joint pain, but speeds up recovery after physical strain. You see, sometimes leg strength isn't just built in the gym. It's built in the kitchen by giving your body exactly what it needs, so every step feels like a joy, not a burden. And then there's calcium. Most people think of it only for bone health, but to me, calcium is like the silent foundation holding up your whole body. I think of Mark, 65, who came to my office with a small fracture in his leg after nothing more than a light slip in his garden. He admitted he'd avoided milk for years, afraid of gaining weight, and never really sought out other calcium sources. The truth is, after 50, our bones lose density faster, and without enough calcium, they weaken every single day without us even realizing it. But calcium does more than keep bones strong. It helps your muscles contract and relax smoothly, preventing those sudden cramps that can stop you in your tracks. I always tell my patients to get their calcium from milk, cheese, leafy greens, almonds, because food-based calcium is both safer and easier to absorb. Think about it. Every glass of milk or handful of almonds isn't just a snack. It's an investment in keeping your legs strong and steady for the road ahead. There's another mineral. I always remind my patients not to overlook potassium. Many people think potassium is just for electrolyte balance after a workout, but in reality, it's the bridge that allows your nerves and muscles to work in perfect sync. I remember Eleanor, 70, who often complained that her legs would freeze mid-stride, sometimes paired with sudden cramps. When I reviewed her diet, I found she rarely ate fruits or vegetables rich in potassium. Just a few weeks of adding sweet potatoes, avocado, and a bit of banana each day, and she told me her legs felt oiled, moving smoothly without those dreaded nighttime cramps. Still, I always caution that for anyone with kidney problems, potassium levels need careful monitoring. Our bodies are like a piece of music miss or overplay. Even one note, and the whole melody feels off. And for your legs, Keeping potassium in balance is the rhythm that keeps them going strong every single day. When it comes to strong legs, I can't leave out vitamin D sunlight packaged as nutrition. I've seen many patients, especially in places with little sunshine, come into my clinic with aching knees, poor balance, or weak muscles they assumed were just age. One patient, Harris 66, discovered, after testing, that he was severely deficient in vitamin D. Just a few months of supplementation, along with gentle morning sunbathing. And he said his legs felt recharged. Vitamin D doesn't just build stronger bones by boosting calcium absorption. It strengthens muscles and lowers the risk of falls, a serious concern as we age. I often tell patients, sometimes all it takes is 15 minutes in the early sun or a delicious grilled salmon dinner to give your legs one of the greatest gifts, the stability to keep moving forward with confidence and safety. There's a vitamin I call the nerve protector vitamin B12. Have you ever felt pins and needles in your legs or walked unsteadily, like your brain and muscles weren't on speaking terms? One of my patients, Susan 71, thought it was just the natural decline of age, but her tests showed she was deficient in B12, cutting off the communication lines from her nerves to her muscles. After just a few months of adding fish eggs and a little milk to her diet, along with prescribed B12 supplements, she regained a steady, confident stride for her walks with her grandchildren. The tricky part is as we age, our stomachs produce less acid, making it harder to absorb B12, even if we eat enough of it. Don't ignore tingling numbness or muscle weakness. Sometimes just a little B12 can light up those nerve pathways again, making every step firm and sure. If the body were an orchestra, vitamin K would be the quiet conductor, ensuring calcium goes exactly where it should into your bones, not clogging your arteries or stiffening soft tissue. I think of Daniel 69, whose artery calcification made his legs feel heavy and joints stiff. After adjusting his diet to include more leafy greens like kale and spinach, and occasionally natto, a fermented soybean rich in vitamin K2, he found his joints moving more freely, his steps easier. What impressed me most was the research showing vitamin K doesn't just strengthen bones, it also reduces joint inflammation and keeps muscles supple. Still, for those on blood-thinning medication, vitamin K intake must be closely managed. I often tell my patients, strength doesn't always come from training alone. It also comes from the subtle precision of nutrition. Just like a beautiful piece of music isn't only about the notes, but also about the pauses placed in exactly the right spots. Another nutrient I always encourage my patients to get enough of, especially for healthy legs, is vitamin B6. Have you ever noticed your muscles taking longer to recover after a long walk or climbing stairs? B6 is the key that helps your body turn protein into muscle while quietly protecting your nervous system from hidden damage. I remember Frank 67, a man who loved gardening but often felt a mild tingling in his calves whenever he bent down for too long. After adding B6 from chicken salmon and even chickpeas in his daily salad, he told me not only had the tingling vanished, but his muscle endurance had improved significantly. As we get older, our ability to absorb B6 decreases, so even a diet that seems good enough can still fall short. To me, B6 is like a quiet friend, not flashy, but always there when you need it, helping your legs recover, stay strong, and ready to carry you on every journey. There's another hero for your legs that many people forget about vitamin C. Famous for boosting immunity, vitamin C is also the raw material your body needs to produce collagen, keeping tendons, ligaments, and muscles supple and resilient. I think of Margaret 70 who loved dancing but had recently started feeling a popping sound and slight pain in her knees whenever she turned. When I looked into her diet, I found it was low in vitamin C. Just a few weeks of adding oranges, kiwis, strawberries, and a bit of red bell pepper to her meals, and she told me the pain had eased and her dance steps felt graceful again. An added bonus, vitamin C helps your body absorb iron more efficiently, which means less fatigue and more energy for daily activities. I often tell my patients every morning, glass of orange juice isn't just a habit, it's a gift nourishing every fiber of muscle and joint in your legs. Finally, I want to talk about a nutrient that's incredibly beneficial for both joints and muscles, omega-3. Many people think omega-3 is just for the heart, but in reality, it's like a natural shock absorber for your legs. I remember Peter, 65, who had to give up his morning walks because of persistent swelling and dull pain in his knees. After adding salmon and sardines to his meals, along with flax seeds and chia seeds, within a few months, he was back at the park, strolling under the trees just like before. Omega-3 helps reduce inflammation in the joints, improves blood flow, and supports muscle recovery after activity. What I love about this nutrient is that it doesn't deliver instant dramatic results. Instead, it works quietly in the background, making your legs a little stronger and more resilient each day. It's like a patient companion, always by your side, helping you go farther without the pain that once held you back.